We live in a day and age where no one keeps their word. No one keeps their word to themselves or to other people. We live in a day and age where New Year's resolutions are common, and even more common is the fact that everyone knows that New Year's resolutions never sustain lasting change. Why is that? Why is it that people wait till a certain time of the year to better their lives? Why is it that people determine something is going to make their life better and then don't follow through with it? And why is it that people determine things are going to make their lives better, lack the discipline and the willpower to do so, and then criticize people who either didn't either didn't lack the willpower and actually fulfilled, or have fulfilled it their whole life, but then they point at them and they say that they're extreme. They have an unhealthy obsession with whatever it may be. But in reality, it's just criticism for an envy, seeing that someone fulfilled a goal that you could not. Now, it's very sad that people cannot keep their word. If you cannot keep your word to yourself, why do you expect anyone else to keep their word to you? Or why should anyone else expect you to keep your word to them? If you can't even do the things that you say you're going to do to make your life better. Now, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions per se. I don't think they should be as popular as they are. I think it's good people want to make a change. I think it's good people see that they need to make changes. But to wait till a certain day to do so is idiotic. It's idiotic to push things off into the future. Say, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month in some cases. I mean, a New Year's resolution is something people start thinking about at the beginning of December. So someone, on December 1st can say, oh, like, what's my New Year's resolution going to be this year? And they could say, go to the gym. And they'll wait till January 1st to go to the gym instead of on December 1st starting going to the gym. Why is there a delay in improving your life? Why is there a delay in doing the things that you know you should do? Why is that? It makes no sense. Now, I have made big changes in my life from New Year's resolutions. And I've actually never really failed a New Year's resolution. And I don't think that's common. And I don't like them, even though I've never failed one. But the reasons I think it's decent is because it is the start of a new year. It is, quote unquote, a new beginning, but it is just a random day in your life. The only added benefit I think it gives is the illusion that you could have a year without something or with something that you've always wanted. So you don't want to ruin that streak, saying, I didn't do this all of 2024. I'm not going to do this all of 2025. And then a one failure ruins the whole year. You can still lie to people and say that you kept your New Year's resolution, but you know if you did or you didn't, and that's all that matters. So I think in that case it is. And in my case, I try to never make them, but if I feel, if I need the little extra oomph, I will, but it disappoints me. It disappoints me to the core that I cannot keep my word to myself. And I'm reading this book right now called Indistractable. I'll show you guys. And it's a really good book. But in the book, it talks about making price packs. And a price pack is essentially when you put money on the line, where you say, okay, you put on $150 on the line and say, if I do not do this every day for a month or every day for a year, or, like if you don't do it every single day for the time allotted and the amount of time that you say you're going to do it, then you lose the money. And this has been proven to be like the most effective way to keep your word to yourself. They did a test and it goes over it, or they did a study and it goes over it in the book, and it talks about how people were offered $800 to quit smoking cigarettes, and their success rate was like 12%. And then people were offered $650 reward, but they had to deposit $150. And if they failed, they didn't get $650 and they lost $150. And if they won, or if they succeeded in not smoking for I think like 6 months or a year, then they would get their $150 back and $650. So one group was offered a reward essentially of $800, and the other group was offered a reward of $650, but just had to put $150 on the line. And that the group that had to put money on the line was 52% successful. Now, when I think about that study, I think, maybe with all studies, there's people lying because you can't truly know. And the fact that, you're going to lose $150, you might lie, but I think it's proven that this actually works, and it makes sense because, you don't want to lose money. But to me, that's so sad. And when I read that, the idea of making a price pact made me cringe. It disgusted me. To think that I would value $150 more than keeping my word to myself is disgusting. And the thing is, I knew I did, which made me even more disgusted. When I read that, I realized, well, it hit me pretty hard that I was like, wow, I really got to start keeping my word to myself. Because I know if I told myself I was going to do something and I had $100 on the line, and if I failed, I'd burn it, or literally burn it. So it's not even like I can convince myself it's going to a good cause. Literally burn the money. I would do it. I believe I'm a very disciplined person, and I have a lot of willpower, and I know I would do it. I know I could do it. But the fact that I value $150 more than I value just keeping my word to myself when I tell myself I'm going to do something, that made me disgusted with myself. And I decided right then and there I was going to let my yes be my yes, and my no mean my no. My yes mean my yes, and my no mean my no. And it talks about this in the Bible. Jesus says, I'm pretty sure on the Sermon on the Mount, to tell people to stop making oaths. Just let your yes mean your yes and your no mean your no. Because you should value your word immensely. And especially your word to yourself. If you can't keep your word to yourself, then what do you have? You don't love yourself enough. You don't love yourself enough if you can't do the things you say you're going to do, that you should do, that will make your life better. You commit to these things while in a rational headspace, and then while you are overcome by pleasure or overcome by desire, you fail, you don't love yourself enough. And it's as simple as that. As simple as that. And such a trivial amount of money, $100, is more important than your word is pathetic. It's sad. It's disgusting. It's gross. And I say that from a person that realized, I say that from a point of view of someone who realized that I would do better if the situation arose where $150 was on the line. When in reality, that isn't important at all compared to not keeping your word to yourself. Because you build an identity. You build an identity when you become a person who doesn't keep their word to themselves. You say, I'm going to start doing this. And then you don't do it time and time and time and time again. You have a stack of undeniable truth that you are not a person who keeps your word to yourself. And that is a horrible thing to have. But if you say, I'm going to do this, and time and time and time again, you do that, you have proof that you're disciplined, that you keep your word to yourself, and you do hard things, even though you know they're going to be hard, but you know that the fact that they're hard is what makes it worth it. Anything easy is not worth doing. The hard things are the things worth doing. Time and time again. Short-term discomfort invites long-term pleasure and deep pleasure, real pleasure. But short-term pleasure welcomes long-term discomfort and long-term depression, despair, hatred. And you just see that time and time again nowadays. People avoiding short-term discomfort to indulge in short-term pleasure. But they're not wise enough to see that doing this is just inviting in long-term discomfort, depression, despair, all these things. So do yourself a favor and just keep your word to yourself. Become a person who lets their yes mean their yes and their no mean their no. And in both sense of to yourself and to other people. Be a man of your word. Or a girl. I don't think many girls watch my videos, other than my mom. Thanks, Mom. But love you, Mom. But yeah, you will love yourself a lot more if you keep your word to yourself. And people will realize that. And you don't need to lie to people. You don't need to say, someone asks you to do something and you feel awkward, say, hey, do you want to go do this? And you're like, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Or like someone's like, hey, we should hang out sometime. You're like, yeah, that would be great. You're lying. And then when you never reach back out to them to hang out, or you never do the thing you said you're going to do, they realize you're not a person of your word. But if they ask you and you straight up say, you can be nice about things. There's no reason to be a jerk. You don't have to just say, no, I don't like you. But you can say, I got a lot of other things I want to do right now. I got a lot of other things on my plate that I'm trying to pursue. I got goals that I'm trying to reach, and I don't think, me investing my time in that area is going to get me closer to my goals. And I really value my time. So, I appreciate the offer, but I don't want to sit here and lie to you. So I don't think we will hang out, and you can either put that nicer than I put it or harsher, up to you, really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like any way you put it's better than lying to them. If you just say no with a blank expression, that's 100 times better than saying yes in a bubbly voice and in the back of your head saying, I would never hang out with you. And just look at them with disgust even asking you to hang out. That's a lot worse than just saying, no, I don't want to hang out. And then, maybe they'll walk away saying you're mean, Maybe they'll go around telling people that you're mean. But there's one thing they won't be able to say, is that you didn't tell them what you didn't mean. You didn't lie to them. They won't be able to say you sugarcoated something. If somebody asks you, am I overweight? And you lie to them and say, no, no, you're not overweight. Even though in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, you're like 300 pounds. Like, you're morbidly obese. You're going to die young. That's mean. It's mean to tell them that they're not fat. Now, you don't have to go and just tell them they're fat. Like I said, there's ways you can say things. And this is something the Stoics preached a lot. The Stoics derived from cynicism. And, I said it before, but if the first time hearing me talk about it, cynicism is a lot different than back in the day. It's a lot different than what cynics are nowadays. A cynic back in the day was more like a Stoic was. And a Stoic didn't agree with the cynics with how rude they were and how blunt they were. If a cynic asks if you're fat, they tell you, yes, you're fat. If you ask a Stoic if you're fat, he would say something probably like, well, if I was you, I'd probably want to lose a little weight. But they try to put it across in a nice way. But they wouldn't lie to you. A cynic would just, shatter your world and make you feel like shit. But a Stoic would come across very nice. Not very nice, but very nice in the sense that he wouldn't lie to you, which is nice. A lot of people try to be kind when they should really be nice. The nice thing to do is tell people the truth. And if you tell someone that they're overweight and they say, really? You're like, yeah, I'd probably lose 50 pounds if I were you. And then they lose 50 pounds and they come up to you and they say, thank you. I've never felt better. I have less brain fog. I don't feel bad. My body feels good. I feel way healthier. I have so much more confidence. My doctor says my blood work's looking really good. Thank you. Everyone always told me that I looked fine. No one ever really was honest with me. I appreciate you being honest with me and telling me I needed to lose some weight. Because when these people die young because of obesity, you're not going to feel good about yourself because that one time they asked you, you lied to them. But if they die young of obesity and you recall the time you tried to convince them to lose weight, well, yeah, you'll still feel the emotions, but you'll say, at least I tried. At least I didn't sit there and lie to this person and tell them, no, you're great. You're healthy and you're going to live a long life. I said, no, you're unhealthy and you're going to die younger than you may if you eat healthier. And then all you can do is give people the right information, because you can't truly change anybody. People have to change on their own. No one has ever changed because someone else forced them to. Yes, people may have pushed them. Yes, people may have shown them a better way of life. But at the end of the day, you're the only one who can truly change yourself. So do yourself a favor and do everyone a favor and start keeping your word to yourself. Don't wait till January 1st to start your new habits that you believe will improve your life. Do it today, right now, this second, this minute. I forget who says it, but I think it might have been Seneca. But Seneca says, or some philosopher says, the biggest lie ever told is, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't wait till tomorrow to do what could be done today. Marcus Aurelius also says, you could have been good today, but yet you chose tomorrow. Never do that. Never do that. You never know when it's going to be your last day. And even with that point, not even relevant, or it is relevant, but even with that point aside, you're not gonna do it tomorrow. How many things have you told yourself tomorrow that you ended up saying tomorrow? You just say, when you say tomorrow, today, tomorrow, you're gonna say tomorrow. And you're just gonna keep saying tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. But when you say today, you're pushing it to the present moment. You're pressing the issue. You're saying, oh, today I gotta do that. And then tomorrow comes and you say, oh, today. Tomorrow comes today. You never push it off to the future. You always embark on it in the present moment. Don't put things off that are worth doing to the future. If it's worth doing tomorrow, it's worth doing today. If it's worth doing at all, it's worth doing right now. You don't need to wait. Now, I know it's past January 1st, but still, if you've already failed on your New Year's resolution, which you probably have if you made one, who cares? Start today. And if you fail again, who cares? Start again. That might sound a little contradiction to my point of let your yes mean your yes and your no mean your no, but yes, you're going to fail. There's nothing wrong with failure. It's when you stay down. But if you just keep getting back up and truly, truly, truly try your best, yes, you may be weak. Yes, you may suck. But you're trying, and that's all that matters. And you will get better if you're actually trying. But if you're fake trying and then you're just looking for a pity party, you won't get better. And you won't get any pity from me. Well, you actually will get pity, because I'll pity you for living the existence that you live, the mediocre existence that you choose to live. I will pity that. But you won't get any sympathy. You'll just get pity. So yeah, do yourself a favor. Change your life. Don't wait till 2026 to retry the New Year's resolution you already failed. Try right now. And this time, let yourself know how important it is to keep your word. How important it is to value your word above trivial things like money.